Hi, I'm Sky Crystal. I'm culturally confused and creatively liberated, and today I am going to give you a tour of my Monstera collection. And I live in north-facing frontage with one large bay window, and I don't get a massive amount of direct sunlight, so most of the plants are grown with indirect light and also grow lights. So, without further ado, I'll just get straight into it. Who shall we start with? Okay, I'm going to start with this shelf and work my way down the shelf. Up here is the Monstera Thai constellation, and usually I have grow lights here and here, but I need to replace them, so at the moment they're just getting indirect light from a north-facing window, which is not a whole lot. So up here there's not a whole lot of indirect light, but for the most part it's pushing out new growth, and this leaf unfurled with the grow lights. Once I get the grow light replacement, everything should be groovy, so I'm not worried. I am pretty happy with this one, and I got it from Plants for All Seasons. Yeah, amazing shop. I've got 2 Monstera Thai constellations from them before, so this one and a smaller one, which I'll show you in a bit. And yeah, so up on this shelf, that's the only Monstera that we've got on there. But then to the right of it, we've got a Monstera Esqueleto, which is pushing out some new growth just here. I've had this Monstera Esqueleto for a little while now. Not long enough to say much about it, apart from the fact that I'm absolutely in love with it. It's above my head in a macrame plant hanger. Literally just creates a beautiful little canopy, and when the grow lights are there, the shadows that fall through it, oh yeah, just the little things, you know? The little things. So, next up we have a couple of propagations and cuttings. So this one is a recent cutting that I took from a Monstera mint variegata, and it's just in a little test tube that I got from plants.com, and I got the original Monstera mint variegata from plants.com, as well as this is a propagation, a successful propagation, but I think it's reverting, of a Monstera adansonii variegata that is potted up. I grew it in leca or sphagnum moss. I think it might have been sphagnum moss, this one, and it's supposed to have variegation, but it's going to push out some new growth soon, so I'm hoping that it pushes out some beautiful white growth. Otherwise, if it's reverted, I'm okay with that too, and it just sits under here. I'm trying to get them acclimated, as well as this one here, which is another successful propagation from my original mint variegata. That's why I decided to do these ones again. And this is pushing out some new growth, and it's gorgeous. I love it. And they just sit on the shelf under the grow light here, and I got these grow lights from Amazon, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job. So apart from one that basically broke and I replaced it, I'm going to replace it even with a new one. So until payday, I'm just gonna wait and sit in the dark, so to speak. But I've got these two, so that's absolutely fine. And then the other plants get the light from that anyway. I am waffling. Anyway, next one. Then we've got the Monstera siltipicana, which is beautiful and long and trailing. And I got this one from Plant Me as well. And there's a few plants in it. I have yet to repot this one. I just kind of left it to grow, and it's pushed out loads of new growth already. It's a really quick grower, and it's pushing out a new leaf there and a new leaf there. And one day I'm going to split this pot up. You can see the beautiful leaves on it. I'm going to split this pot up and have them trailing down, and add the trailing ones to this wall over here, which is on the opposite side of the room, and all of these plants grow with just the indirect light that comes through, and they seem to be all happy. And there's a couple of Monsteras on that side of the room, but I'll get to that in a minute. And yeah, and then put another couple of plants of the Monstera siltipicana on a moss pole and let it grow up to see the fenestrations with and increase the leaf size as well. So I'm excited to do that at some point, probably next summer. But it's pushing out loads of new growth, and it seems to be really happy under this grow light, so yay! And it just sits there happily on that shelf. I have a Monstera elbow here, and I absolutely love this plant, and I'm gonna get another one for myself, and this one will go to my mum because I know that her conditions in her greenhouse will be a lot better than my conditions here. Apart from when I upgrade to my new mini greenhouse setup, I could keep it in there. But I want to give this to my mum, so I'm going to do that. And this one stays just over here. It just lives over there next to the bed, and I get some a healthy amount of light from the grow light and some indirect light from the window over here. And then we have a Monstera that is not in the best condition. I got it when I was in hospital and it was lush, and there was 3 in the pot, but since then 2 of the plants have died, and this other one had a bug infestation as well as really bad lighting conditions in my previous place that I was living. So it's kind of on the grow back, and it's making a comeback, but it's gonna stay with me, and I'm just gonna let it trail up the entire window at some point. Hopefully it'll grow a lot quicker next year, over next summer, the growing season. But I love it, and it's over here. And this one just grows in the window with indirect light all day, every day. And it seems to be doing much better. It hasn't had any more bugs since then, but you can see what they did to it. And this leaf is kind of sad, but I don't want it to just be one leaf, so I haven't taken the other one off. So until then, until it pushes out some new growth, which it doesn't seem to be doing for a little while, but it should be okay. And then on the other side of the room, I have a couple of Monsteras here and one here, and these all grow with indirect light, and they're a little bit away from, about a meter away from the window. And the Monstera Peru used to live in the greenhouse, which I'll show you here. The Monstera Peru, which is literally one of my new favourite Monsteras. I didn't know it existed until I did know it existed, and then I was like, how do I get one? And then I found one, and I have not looked back since, and it's pushed out some new growth. It only pushed out this leaf in the mini greenhouse, and I'm not sure if it was happy in there, or so I brought it out here to acclimate to the humidity of the room, and it seems to be pushing out a new leaf soon, so I'm just going to leave it there to grow with the other dudes over there on the corner. So over here I have a Monstera adansonii wide form, and there's a collection of them. I've just got 3 plants in each pot in a macrame plant hanger, and I love it. I absolutely love them. This one is really cute. So it's growing from here and all the way up here. So I get double the amount of leaves with one plant, and I'm really happy about that, and I love it. It seems to be growing really well here. And this one I just recently moved over here. These are all propagations. I used to have one trailing adansonii wide form down here and this pothos, but I had to chop it up because I had a bug issue. So these are all the healthy propagations that have pushed out new leaf growth and root growth. I've got a couple more propagating in there, but I love these. And they just hang by the kitchen, and they quite like the humidity from the kitchen, which, yes, unbelievably so, this tiny cupboard here is a kitchen. And then I have a Monstera. Ooh. A Monstera deliciosa. This Monstera just chills over here in the corner. It's a recent purchase, and it's pushed out this new leaf since. And I'm really happy with this growth, actually, apart from the fact that Luna attacked this leaf, so it's got some cosmetic damage now. But it had cosmetic damage at the beginning anyway, so Luna kind of did it a favour, because I didn't have the heart to pull off the leaf, so Luna did it for me. And it's got 2 growth points in here. one there and one here, so it will push out double the amount of leaves. It's really far away from the window on the other side of the room, but once I get the grow lights in there, it has some light pushing down here, so they should be fine. But it seems happy for now. So on to this little section here. Okay, so I took all of them out of the greenhouse so I can show you a little bit better, because the grow light is on and I don't really want to turn it off. So we have a Monstera adansonii mint variegated cutting in here, which is pushing out some new growth. I don't know if you can see it, just a little bit here. And that's happened in the past couple of days, so I'm really happy about that, which means I'll have another cutting. And it's a really well rooted cutting. I pulled it off. There's a video about it and it'll be linked down below. So the next one is a Monstera mint variegated cutting. This is pushing out a new leaf with fenestrations in it, and it's very small. It's very small, but it's really cute. So it's staying in the greenhouse away from Luna because she is a fiend for them, because this had a leaf attached to it. There's new leaf growth being pushed through here. You can kind of see it, and hopefully one day the leaves will get to this size. But Luna bit the end of this off because it was over there and it was in a different planter, but I put it back into the greenhouse so it's safe and it can push this new growth out and just grow undisturbed. Then I've got 3 Monstera obliqua cuttings that are growing in leca or clay balls. There's some root growth already and some new growth. You can kind of see it there, just there. So that's a new leaf that's being pushed through. So that makes me really happy because one day I can pop these up and they will be available in my shop at some point in the future, as well as these, but the mint variegata cuttings. But until then I'm just keeping them in my personal collection until they are grown up enough and I'm happy to sell them. So here's the mother plant that is pushing out some new growth just here and here, and there's a video about this one linked below about me propagating it and putting it up onto this moss pole. So this will grow in the corner. There's also a mini greenhouse tour so you can see all the plants in the greenhouse. I have had a shuffle around since then, so there's a couple of like rescue plants in there. But yeah, if you're interested, feel free to have a little watch. And yeah, I love this plant. It grows really, really fast. This pushed out growth in about a week. And if you're looking for rare plants to buy, and I would definitely recommend the mint variegata as a plant, a starter plant for into the rare plants selection. They're really, really easy to grow and propagate, and I've had a lot of fun with this plant. Super easy to maintain and care for. I know I've got it in a greenhouse with high humidity and everything like that, but the one on the shelf is growing just as well and pushing out new growth almost every week. So I would definitely recommend it, especially with the beautiful variegation on it. I mean, could you really say no to this leaf? For reals. Look at that leaf. Like, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then I have a Monstera adansonii narrow form, which is literally my pride and joy plant. This used to be a much more established plant, but this is all I've got left from a cutting that is literally tiny. Literally so small. And it's pushing out a new leaf as well, so I'm really happy about that. And it stays in there away from Luna. I'm hoping this leaf has a fenestration, but oh, it does have a fenestration. It's just really tiny. Oh my god, that's so cute. You can't see it. Can you see it? It's just really small. Hopefully the next one will have another fenestration as well. But yeah, and then I've got a Monstera Thai constellation with a half moon leaf that I also got from Plants for All Seasons. This is like my little baby. I love Monstera Thai constellations, and the one that I've grown, I've got a baby one, a cutting that isn't doing so great because I think the humidity was too high for it in the sphagnum moss. So I need to do something in there. I think I need a fan in there or something. I'm gonna upgrade my mini greenhouse setup. But yeah, it's just over there. And I love Monstera Thai constellations because of the, well, firstly the name. I'm kind of addicted to stars. I like stars. I don't know many, but I like looking at them, so I can look at them on the plant leaf as well. I'm weird. Anywho, I love this little baby. It pushed this leaf out. It was 3 leaves when I got it, and it's pushed out this new growth here. It's pushed out this new growth here. I don't think it's getting... I want it to be a little bit more half moon, but I'm just leaving it to do its own thing because at least it hasn't like done anything to the white. I don't want to say it just in case it happens, but you know when it goes brown. We're trying to avoid it because that happened to this plant here. It used to have 2 leaves, which is this is a Monstera adansonii variegata, and I took a few cuttings from it. One's up there on the shelf, which is kind of reverting, and then a couple are in the greenhouse as well, which are also kind of reverting a little bit, which is really sad. But hopefully they'll push out some white growth at some point. This one is fine, but the only thing is it's really small and the last leaf kind of rotted away, so I'm trying to work out if it's okay or not. Just remove all the like rotten bits. But look how cute the leaf is. Look how tiny and adorable it is. It's so small, and it's got fenestrations, which makes me so happy. I think I'm gonna buy another one of these, and definitely not as easy to propagate there as opposed to the mint variegata. So I'm gonna get another one and then just leave it to grow, and then these ones will all have been experiment plants. And then I've got my other baby, Monstera obliqua. These grow really, really fast, and I propagated this one because it pushed out a runner, and I wasn't sure why it did that. And now it's actually pushed out some new growth with some 2 leaves. It was growing a few leaves. I got about 9 or 10 propagations out of it, and they're all growing. There's 3 here. I've sold 1 already, and there's a few over here. This is all the runner. All these are wet stick cuttings that were from the runner, and they are pushing out some growth. Not yet rooting, but they are actually growing what seems to be a leaf. So, and these are rooting in perlite and water, and I just leave them there. And then I've got Monstera siltipicana cutting that's also growing in here, and that is actually rooted quite well so far. And then I've got one of the Monstera adansonii variegata cuttings that is also reverting. However, one of the ones that has actually survived, and there's some new growth coming out just there, and I'm really excited for these to all like root and grow, and then I'll propagate from them one day when they're a little bit older and sell some cuttings in my shop. Yeah, I want to get into the plant sales business one day, but that's a whole other conversation to have for another day. But yeah, I've also got a couple of wet stick cuttings. I think this is just one now. A couple of wet stick cuttings here of a Monstera adansonii wide form that are rooting in sphagnum moss, and these were saving a plant. That's where I got all of these ones from. The Monstera adansonii wide forms that are growing in the on the kitchen, basically on the kitchen. And yeah, hopefully one day I'll pop this one up along with this one, which is also here. I've got a propagation growing. This one's pushed out a brand new leaf here and is growing another one, and the root system is sensational in this one. I don't know if you can actually see it because of all the writing, but it's great. I'm really enjoying that one, and it's just growing here in the window, and this one's under the grow light. They grow a lot faster under the grow light because it's on the full sun effect. I'm not really sure what the terminology is, but yeah, everything is. I love the mini greenhouse setup. I'm really grateful for it, and it's saving a lot of plants and makes propagation a little bit more fun because things grow a little bit faster in the higher humidity, and I can rescue plants out of, for example, grow these propagations of the mint and Adansonii and things like that. So yeah, and then last but not least, oh no, not last but not least, second to last, I've got the mint variegata cuttings that I took the other day off this mother plant here, and I'm gonna see how they grow. This one's lost a leaf already, but it's got a wet stick in there, so it just turned into a wet stick. That was the top cutting, but it's since rotted the new leaf, so I might chop that and put it into something else instead, because I've got a couple of wet stick cuttings and I can show you them here. In here I've got a sphagnum moss in a Tupperware type thing that is just basically creating a mini greenhouse effect, and it sits in the window. And I've got 2 wet stick cuttings here of the mint variegata Monstera cuttings. Didn't have leaves, but I didn't want to throw them away, and they're growing in here quite happily. You can see them. There's some new leaf growth and on there, and they just grow over here. They haven't rooted yet. They're trying to, so we'll see how they grow. But I've had really good successes with this kind of propagating, so I'm going to keep propagating like that, and it just sits in the window and I leave it alone, and then it grows, and then I plant it up one day and it's great. And that's all of the plants in the mini greenhouse, so I'm just going to quickly put them back and then I'll show you where they are situated. So up here is where I keep, this is the top shelf of my mini greenhouse, which you can see here, and on the top I keep all the propagations, and on the bottom I keep all the mother plants, so for the most part. And I've also got a Monstera constellation cutting. This is the one that I said isn't doing so well. You can see it's like there's root rot that's going on just there. You can't really see it that well, but yeah. So I keep that in there under the grow light, in the hopes that it will grow. I keep my Monstera my Monstera obliqua up here next to the Adansonii, which is a little bit higher up to the grow light, so it's just a little test to see how fast it grows, but it's actually growing a lot faster since I moved it up a little bit higher. So I might do that at some point, put all of these on a little bit higher because I can't turn this up any more than it is. And then in the corner I've got the mint variegata, and here's the Thai constellation. I'm going to move over here so it gives these two a little bit more light. Yeah. And then up here I've got all the obliqua cuttings and mint variegata cuttings potted up, and also right at the back in leca tablet clay balls. They are growing just here, and then there's Saltipicanas here, and that's everything. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. That was my entire collection of Monsteras, and I'm sure at some point in the future I'll make an update video with more Monsteras, because there's a few types of Monsteras in my wish list, and I will update you as soon as I've got a few more interesting types of Monsteras. But until then, thank you very much again for watching this video, and thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. See you later. Bye!